What is guys, what is girls, Horny Lions, welcome to my personal guide for Frost Mages for patch 5.4.7, also known as Season 15. This is gonna be an updated version of my patch 5.4 Frost Mage PvP guide, since my previous video was very outdated compared to the builds that are much more effective right now in World of Warcraft. But yeah, also in my previous video I underestimated a lot of the talents. Like, I have a different build today than I had in my previous video, and I'm gonna be going over it all when we get to it in a minute, guys, trust me. But let's just kick this video off, and I hope you guys will enjoy. If you do, make sure to thumbs it up, it always helps. Thanks for watching, guys, and enjoy. Alright guys, let's take a look at the first subject of this video, which is talent and builds. And let's just get this started right away. We got, in the first tier, we got Presence of Mind, Blazing Speed and Ice Flows. And as you can see, I'm no longer going with Presence of Mind. And why is that so, you probably think? Why is that so, Eric? Well, if you have recognized, I'm not going with Frost Bomb anymore, and that is actually something I want to be going over later on in the video. Also, if you're interested to know what's best between Living Bomb or Frost Bomb, you can go back to one of my older videos where I was making this video purely based on Living Bomb versus Frost Bomb, and Living Bomb won. No doubt about that. Also, but Presence of Mind, since I'm not going with Frost Bomb anymore, Presence of Mind is a waste overall. I mean, Presence of Mind is great actually. Like, it can give you an instant polymorph, it can give you an instant Ring of Frost, instant Frost Fireball, etc. But overall, polymorph doesn't take that long to cast nevertheless, and as well as Ring of Frost. When you cast Ring of Frost with Presence of Mind, you have to wait 1.5 seconds or something like that in order to use the Ring of Frost effect. Anyway, Ring of Frost is not so effective as it used to be, like back when Frost Bomb was the best, but right now when Living Bomb is the best, Presence of Mind is not so great anymore. Blazing Speed is, with no doubt. Blazing Speed is a very great talent. You can get away from your target much safer and much quicker now. Imagine if this training dummy here is a rogue and I want to escape from him right away. He has just opened on me and I can use Blazing Speed, and look how far I'm able to get. That was like 25 yards, which is longer than Blink. Blink is also, like, imagine if your Blink is on cool and you're not able to use it, you can just go with Blazing Speed instead. Blazing Speed is an incredible talent, with no doubt about that. So yeah, Blazing Speed is a very utility based talent, and also very great to get around, etc. Like, imagine if that imagine if Ely, the Pandaren boy, whatever he is my foe. Like, he's a healer and I want to get to him really quick. He is just about to escape, to hide himself behind that torch over there, like behind the wall, etc. I can just easily use Blazing Speed and get to him much quicker, and I'm able to silence him right after that. So Blazing Speed is very great to escape from your target, and also to hunt down your target as well. And Ice Flows is great if you want to kite your target, but I don't really feel like I want to kite my target that much. I can just easily use whatever spell I feel like. Like, I can go with Ice Lances or Living Bomb to proc up some Frost Fireballs, and I'm able to slow him during that way. But Ice Flows, it is good, yes, especially in PvE, but this is a PvP guide, as I said, because in PvE you want to move around a lot more due to the boss mechanics, but that is something I'm not going to be going over right now. So Ice Flows, Presence of Mind, not so great compared to Blazing Speed, which is a very great spell overall to escape from your target or hunt down your target. Let's go down to the second tier. We got Temporal Shield, Flame Glow and Ice Barrier. And Temporal Shield is the shit right now. As you can see, I'm no longer going with Ice Barrier that I used to do all the time. I love to do Ice Barrier, But since it is not so effective, like, it is still very effective, and it is still very easy to go with. Like, you can just press one button and you will get, like for me, I have an item level at 530, which is quite much actually, compared to the season is just 4 weeks old or something like that. Because I have received several items from the Celestial's world bosses. Anyway, Ice Barrier absorbs above 100,000 damage, which is actually pretty much. Just imagine if your opponent have to burst down an additional 100,000 damage in order to get to your original elf points, which is also great. But compared to Temporal Shield, when I'm gonna be going over in a minute, Ice Barrier is great and very safe to go with, but not compared to Temporal Shield. Flame Glow, it is not so great. It never was actually. I don't like Flame Glow at all. Why I don't like Flame Glow, I don't know. Just because it is absorbing so tiny amount of damage, but also it is passive though, so that's always a good thing. But still, I'm gonna be going with Temporal Shield. And why is that so, Eric? Why is Temporal Shield the best? Well, let me tell you. Temporal Shield will put a shield on you for 4 seconds, and over those 4 seconds, you will also have a 15% decreased damage taken. But also, while you have this active for 4 seconds, all the damage you take over those 4 seconds will get healed up over 6 seconds. So imagine if a Warlock bursts on me as much as possible for those 4 seconds, and I'm maybe down at 40% health. I can easily go with Ice Block when it expires, and I will be able to get healed up while in Ice Block, and I will take no damage, and I will get a heal up to max again. So it is very great to play defensive with, and but also very sketchy, because what if your opponent is trolling you and you think they're opening on you, and you waste your Temporal Shield and you have to wait 25 seconds in order to cast it again. So it is sketchier than Ice Barrier though, but still it is very nice to go with. Also a very fun talent actually. And if you go this talent, you basically just want to practice it out in random BGs to start out with, in order to use it at the proper times, etc. Let's go down to the third tier. We got Ring of Frost, Ice Ward, and Frostjaw. Frostjaw is very great if you're a fire mage for PvP, because like being a frost mage, you have your pet with you all the time, and they can freeze your target at a long distance from that, which is also great if you ask me. But still, Frostjaw is great against casters such as healers. Like, it can silence and freeze the target in place for 8 seconds, and if it's against players, it will only last for 4 seconds. But 4 seconds is still quite a lot actually, if you ask me. Like it's 1, 2, 3, 4. That is actually a quite long time if you ask me. So still, Frostjaw is very great, but only if you're a fire mage who is not capable of having your pet with you, who can freeze your target from a distance. So Frostjaw is great for fire mages, but this is a frost mage guide, so overall it is a waste compared to Ring of Frost. Ice Ward is also a very great talent, if you ask me. It really is. Like, imagine if a rogue opens on you, and if 2 rogues opens on you, and you can easily go with Ice Ward, and your opponents will get freezed in place for 5 seconds, which is also great. Like, when a melee attack strikes you, you will freeze all enemies within 10 yards of you for 5 seconds, which is also very good. Like, you can escape from over that duration, but still very sketchy still, because if you can spellcasters, is it even worth it? Nah, not compared to Ring of Frost. Ring of Frost is the best. And why is that so? Well, maybe because it is good in all kind of PvP instances, such as a BGs or arenas, especially in BGs, because they can freeze up to 10 targets at the same time, which is absolutely incredible. So I really think Ring of Frost is the shit. And also, right after you have opened on your target, you can easily just go with Ring of Frost. Like, imagine if this is I'm opening on this training dummy right now, and I can just easily go with Ring of Frost to trap him actually, because if he moves outside the circle, he will get freezed in place for 8 seconds, or is it 10 seconds? I think it's 10 seconds, and over those 10 seconds, you're able to deep freeze him and start bursting him down, which is also great. Let's move down to the 4th tier. We got greater invisibility, cauterize, and cold snap. As you can see, I have taken cold snap because it is a very effective spell. And why is that so? Well, a cold snap refreshes the cooldown of your Frost Nova, your Cone of Cold, and Ice Block spells, and they are 3 very effective spells, especially as a Frost Mage, especially as a mage overall in PvP, because they are the 3 most used spells to kite your target, to slow your target, to escape from combat, to get heal up with your temporal shit, etc. What Cold Snap does is that it will refresh the cooldown of all of those, so you will actually have a double Frost Nova, you will have a double Ice Block, etc. Very useful, and you will also get healed up 30% of your maximum health, and this can also be used while stunned and feared, etc. And it is absolutely incredible, very safe to go with, not so hard to use or anything like that. I mean, cauterize. And don't underestimate cauterize here, guys. Cauterize is actually great in PvP, if you ask me, because cauterize, an attack that will otherwise kill you, will bring you to 50% of your maximum health, and you will burn for 40% of your maximum health over those 6 seconds. So imagine if you're dying and you have cauterize, it's about to happen, then you will get healed up to 50% of your maximum health, and you will burn for over 40% of your maximum health. So you will not die, but you will get down to 10% of your maximum health, and if you don't have a healer with you, you're screwed if you're against another DPS. But anyway guys, cauterize, when it explodes and when you get healed up again and you're about to burn down your health, you can just go with Ice Block, because then the debuff will disappear and you are able to get healed up to 50% and you are ready to burst on your target. Greater invisibility is horrible, although it is great if you want to greater invisibility is great if you want to escape from your target, but I actually never escape from my target like a chicken or something like that. It is great to escape from combat, like if you're against a lot of players and they're placing dots on you, you can just use great invisibility and you will get invisible right away, as well as you will remove 2 damage over time effects. Also great. Anyway, so Cold Snap is the best, most effective, but Cauterize is still great if you have Ice Bug with you, but if you don't, you're screwed. Let's move down to the 5th tier. Nether Tempest, Living Bomb, and Frost Bomb. Nether Tempest is very good against a lot of targets in BGs, etc. But overall, Nether Tempest is not so good compared to Living Bomb. And go back to one of my previous videos where I was making this Living Bomb versus Frost Bomb video, and I came over the conclusion that Living Bomb is the best. With no doubt, Living Bomb is the best. Why is that so? It is great in 2v2s as well as 3v3s. It can be placed up to 3 targets, and it will do a significant amount of damage over 11 seconds, and it will explode for around 14,000 to all enemies within 10 yards when it explodes. And also, it is instant cost. It does not have a cooldown compared to Frost Bomb, and it is a very safe spell to go with, because it cannot get dispelled on your target that easily, because you can just go with it once again. You can just refresh it like all the time, and it also have a higher chance to proc your Ice Lances, your Frostfire Bolt, etc. Frost Bomb, it is a very safe spell to go with, because you have a 100% chance to proc your Frostfire Bolt, but also Frost Bomb is not so great. I know it does the most damage, but you have to wait 3 seconds, something like that, in order for it to explode. So, over those 3 seconds, and you have placed Frost Bomb on your opponent, and if you're against the healer team, they can easily dispel your Frost Bomb, and if you fail in your Frost Bomb, you will fail in your burst, and if you fail in your burst as a Frost Mage, you will fail the arena, pretty much actually. So you want to be focusing up as much as possible with Living Bomb. Living Bomb is the best, has the highest chances to proc your spells, etc. Very effective, no cooldown, as well as an instant spell compared to Frost Bomb. Let's go down to the last tier. We got Invocation, Rune of Power, and Incanter the Sword. I want to be starting talking about Rune of Power. Rune of Power sucks because you can place a rune on the ground, but remember, you have to stand inside the rune in order to get the benefit from it. So overall, Rune of Power is not that great. Incanter the Sword, though, is the best. And why is that so? Well, maybe because it has a passive effect also. It will increase your spell damage done by 60% and also increase the mana regeneration by 65%. But these effects are deactivated when your Incanter the Sword is on cooldown. And Incanter Sword is actually a bonus shield that will absorb from me approximately 32,000 damage for 8 seconds. And all the damage and when it explodes, like when it expires, you will gain up to 15% increased spell damage for 25 seconds based on the absorption used. So if you don't get, if your shield doesn't break, you will not get so much spell increased damage. But if you get burst down all of your shield, then you will get max, which is 15% increased spell damage, which is quite much if you ask me. Invocation. Invocation, is it good, is it bad? Well, the challenge period of duration is reduced by 50%. Like if you're going with evocation now, it takes me 4.4 seconds. That will get reduced down to half. Like it will only take me 2.2 seconds if I go with invocation. And when you complete an invocation, you will also get 15% increased spell damage for 40 seconds, which is also great. But what if you forget to use it at the proper times? What if you, for example, forget to use it when you're about to enter a BG and your opponent opens on you and you figure out that you need invocation? Like no, Incanter Sword is much greater if you ask me, because it's also a tiny shield that will also absorb up to 32,000, which is also quite much if you ask me. So this is my personal build. This is, in my opinion, this is the most decent build as a Frost Mage right now in World of Warcraft Mists of Pandaria patch 5.4.7 season 15. And I'm gonna be going over it again. Blazing Speed, Temporal Shield, Ring of Frost, Cold Snap, Living Bomb, and Incanter Sword. That is the shit, guys. Go with these talents and you will win all of your arenas, etc. Nah, just kidding, but it is a very effective build in my opinion. Alright guys, let's take a look at stats requirements for Frost Mages for patch 5.4.7 season 15. Well, what is the first priority, as I have been telling you for all of my guides now? That's right guys, 6% hit chance. That's right. You want to be getting as close to 6% hit chance as much as possible. If you're getting underneath, you have a chance to miss on some of your spells. Like imagine if you're missing on your Frost Firebolt, which will probably do around 50k versus players, of course, if it crits. Also, imagine if you miss on that, you want to be having a 6%, not so much above. You want to be getting as close to 6% as possible, and follow my Reforged Light guide of some of my previous videos, and you will get as close to 6% as possible. The second priority right now is to focus on Intellect / Haste, and I am referring to most haste in this case. Intellect is also great. The more intellect you have, the more spell power you have, and the more spell power you have, the more damage you're able to do. But still, haste is the shit. The more haste you have, the more damage you're able to do with your dodge, and I'm referring to Living Bomb. The more damage Living Bomb does, the higher your changes are for your Frost Firebolt and Ice Lances to proc, which will also increase your DPS quite a lot, as well as your burst. Also, haste is the most useful. Mastery is not so great anymore, like with the Ice Cycles. It doesn't improve Ice Cycles damage that much, so it is pretty much a waste. So first priority, focus on 6% hit, as close as possible to 6% hit. The second priority, focus on haste. Third priority, focus on intellect. Fourth priority, focus on mastery, and fifth priority, focus on crit. Alright, let's just go over real quick of the gems for Frost Mages right now. And in the red gems, you want to go with the 80 Intellect and the 160 Haste. And in the meta game, you either go with the 216 Intellect as well as the 3% increased crit effect. But if you have, that is if you have not completed Raffian's questline for patch 5.2. But if you have completed Raffian's legendary questline for patch 5.2, I recommend you to go with the 324 critical strike chance, as well as a chance on the spell damage to gain 30% spell haste for 10 seconds. It is very great if you burst on your target, really effective. On the blue gems, you want to be focusing on 160 haste and 80 PvP power, and on the yellow gems, 320 haste. So I'm gonna be going over it again. Made against 324 critical strike and a chance and spell damage to gain 30% spell haste, and that is if you have completed Raffian's quest line. If you have not, then just go with the ordinary one, which in this case is 216 intellect as well as 3% increased critical strike effect. On the red gems, 80 intellect and 160 haste. The yellow gems, 320 haste. On the blue gems, 160 haste and 80 PvP power. So you want to be focusing on as much haste as possible as you can get, as you can see. Alright, enchants are still the same actually. On the shoulders, 200 intellect and 100 critical strike. On the chest, 80 in all stats. On the cloak, if you have tailoring, go with light weave embroidery. Light weave embroidery has a chance to proc 2000 intellect for around 15 seconds, which is absolutely incredible when you open on your target. But if you don't, just go with 180 intellect as usual. On the wrists, 180 intellect. On the weapon, Jade Spirit. On the offhand, 165 intellect, and you want to be focusing on getting a main hand and an offhand because that is the best. You will get most stats and most you will get more PvP power as well out of it. It is much more effective than a single weapon. On the rings, if you have enchanting like me, you will get 160 intellect on both rings, which is a total of 320 intellect, which is also a nice little boost. On the boots, you want to be focusing on 175 haste, and on the pants you want to be focusing on 285 intellect and 165 critical strike. On the belt, the extra belt socket, and put a yellow gem in there, which is the 320 haste. And last but not least, on the gloves, 170 haste. So as you can see, you want to be focusing on purely on haste. Haste is the best, with no doubt. I surely don't hope I talk too fast, guys. I will try to slow it down. It is just that I want to tell you guys so much stuff right away, and I'm just like rushing up. So if there's anything so far that you have misunderstood, if you didn't hear the word properly, then please guys take your time and tell me it in the comments below. Then I will definitely think about it for my future videos. Like, I need your feedback. But right now let's take a look at glyphs for Frost Mages for season 15. And there has been a slight change to my glyphs, and I want to thank you guys for the feedback you guys have sent me, because I have some different glyphs now than I used to. Like, I still have the glyph of Ice Veins, which is a must-have. Not a must though, but it still increases your damage when you burst. Like, glyph of Ice Veins, what it does is that when you activate Ice Veins, all your frost balls, ice lances, and frost fireballs, and your water elementals, frost bolts abilities also will of course split into 3 smaller bolts that will each deal 40% spell damage. So 40 plus 40 plus 40 is a total of 120% spell damage, which is a 20% additional spell damage buff, and that is actually quite much when you're opening on your target. And Glyph of Ice Veins is a very effective spell, especially when you're opening on your target, because as a Frost Mage, if you fail in your burst, you will pretty much fail overall. Like, your burst is so important. A Frost Mage's burst, if you fail much in your burst, then the arena pretty much is lost if you have no clue how to continue after on. But also, that was one of my first glyphs. Let's go down to Glyph of Deep Freeze. What Glyph of Deep Freeze does is that my Deep Freeze will no longer have a global cooldown, but its duration is also reduced by 1 second. So it doesn't make that much of a difference though. But if you want to CC your target, like stun your target right away, if you want to stun your foe, which in this case is a healer, if you want to stun him right away, you can just go with the Glyph of Deep Freeze. So it will not have a global cooldown. You can just go and freeze him right away, and you can start the opening on him. And that is my opinion. And last but not least, we have Glyph of Ice Block. Glyph of Ice Block is a very, very amazing talent. Like, when I enter my Ice Block and I disappear when it expires, or when I click it to end, I will automatically make a Frost Nova around me. Around me for like 10 yards or something like that, and they will get freezed, and I will also be immune to all spells for 3 seconds. It is incredible to escape with. It is incredible overall. Like if your Frost Nova is on cooldown, you can easily go to your target, use Ice Block and escape from it really quick, and your target will get freezed, and you can start opening on him as well. Very, very effective. These are 3 very useful, effective glyphs, and that is my opinion on what are the best glyphs at the moment. So yeah, minor glyphs are not so important. I do not have the glyph of momentum like I used to, because I don't want to tell you guys that it is a good thing to backpedal as a Frost Mage. No, it's not. So I just have these 3 spells, which is useless, but it's still fun to go with. Let's take a look at my macros, guys. Not general, specific, that's right. As you can see, still my macros are still the same, but I want to be telling you them again, of course. This one is unnecessary. All it does is that it will shout out in chat whenever my refreshment table is up, so my angry raid members won't get pissed at me if I'm not telling the feast was up, etc. So that's a unnecessary glyph in my opinion. Anyway, we have the glyph, we have the macro, of course, the macro of Ice Block. What this does is that it will make you enter Ice Block and get an item of Ice Block immediately. Like if you don't have this macro, it is a must-have as a Frost Mage. Like if you don't have this, it is very, very bad if you don't, because you have to wait probably over 1 second in order to escape from your Ice Block. Like if you have this, you will escape from it much quicker. And also it actually works just as a trinket. You'll be able to escape from all CCs like an instant click. So yeah, the second of my macros is one-shot macro, and it will cast Icy Veins, Cafe Press, which is this nice cup of coffee, as well as it will use my 13th item slot, which in this case is my trinket that will increase Intellect by 3670 for 20 seconds, as well as yell out release to Kraken, which is just for fun. And the third of my macros are Polymorph, which is a mouse over macro. I know it is sketchy to go with compared to a focus macro, if you ask me. Like imagine if this is a DPS and this guy, sorry, let me just go focus. Now that is my focus, and this guy is a healer and I'm attacking the DPS. I can just easily go with Polymorph and CC the other target just by you holding my mouse top of my enemy, if you know what I'm saying. So you don't necessarily have to change your target in order to CC him with Polymorph. Very, very effective. And I will put all of these I'll put all of this information in the description below, guys, so you can easily go down there and copy paste it to your own macro section. And last but not least, silence. What this does is that it will whenever you're casting, it will stop your casting right away, so you can interrupt your target right away. Like if you're against a warlock who is using for example Chaos Bolt, you can easily interrupt him right away while casting. So that was 4 of my very useful macros. Not so much to talk about here. Alright guys, last but not least, let's take a look at the rotations, like I'm referring to when you're about to open on your target as well. And anyway, you want to be focusing, you want to having your War Elemental, and let's just imagine this is our target with the skull above his head. That is our target. So first of all we get invisible with our invisibility. We sneak up to the target and we're about to open. The first thing we do is to freeze him, and we're gonna use Frozen Orb. We're gonna use our one-shot macro, Living Bomb, Mirror Images in order to prevent the opponent from seeing you, and start opening on target. Also defreeze it this time. When you get Frostfire Ball as well as 2 Iron Stances, use all the time. And when you have used all of that, you can see use all the time again to get back where you were. And also a good thing if you're against spell cards or melee, right after you've opened, just place a Ring of Frost around your target, because then your target is basically trapped inside it. They're not able to get outside because they will get freezed anyway. So yeah, I hope you understood all of this. If you didn't, I have put all of the information in the description below. Go down there, guys, and it will help you out. So yeah, guys, I hope this video was helpful. I hope I was able to explain it properly. I hope you guys understood every word. If you didn't, please tell me, guys. I need feedback in order to make my future videos better day by day. But I'll put all of the information I've said now in the description below, so you can go down there and check it whenever you want to. That was all I had for you in this video, guys. Thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you guys next one. Take care, guys. Bye bye.